Sometimes it's not what you say that affects people, it's what they feel around you. That's the strange part. You can walk into a room quietly. You can be respectful. You can mind your business. You can even be warm. And still, certain people start acting different. A little defensive, a little tense, a little colder than necessary, a little too eager to explain themselves, a little too quick to compete. And if you've experienced that, you've probably asked yourself, what is this? Why does somebody seem uncomfortable around me when I didn't do anything to them? Let me ask you something early, because I think this is the kind of topic that brings very specific experiences to mind. Have you ever felt someone's energy shift around you for no clear reason? And what gave it away first? Their tone, their silence, their fake niceness, or the way they suddenly started competing with you? That question usually brings up a face almost immediately, because most people have felt this. And the first mistake we make is assuming it must mean we did something wrong. Sometimes we did. Sometimes we were off. Sometimes we misread a situation. But sometimes it has very little to do with what we did. Sometimes your presence awakens something in insecure people that they do not know how to handle. That's what we're talking about in this video. Not in an arrogant way, not in a everyone is jealous of me kind of way, not in a shallow body language, dark psychology, manipulation way. This is deeper than that, because Carl Jung understood something important. People do not only react to other people, they react to what other people stir up inside them, their shadow, their insecurity, their unlived life, their shame, their false image, their need for control, their fear of not being enough. So sometimes when certain people react strangely to you, they are not reacting to your surface. They are reacting to what your presence awakens in them. And once you understand that, a lot of confusing behavior starts making sense. So let's go straight into it. Here are 7 things your presence often awakens in insecure people. 1. Your presence awakens comparison they were trying to avoid. This is one of the biggest ones. A lot of insecure people are comparing themselves all the time, not always out loud, not always consciously, but internally, constantly. Your looks, your confidence, your peace, your voice, your discipline, your energy, your relationships, your self-respect, your progress. And maybe you're not trying to outshine anyone. Maybe you're just existing. But if somebody is already struggling with their sense of worth, your presence can activate that comparison immediately. Now they're measuring. Now they're noticing what feels different about you. Now they're wondering how they come across next to you. Now they're checking whether they feel bigger or smaller in the same space. And if the comparison hurts them, they often don't interpret it as, I need to work on my insecurity. They interpret it as discomfort around you. That's why someone can become weirdly competitive, cold or defensive, even if you did nothing but show up. Jung would probably say that what disturbs us in others often points to what remains unresolved in ourselves. So if your presence awakens comparison in someone, the problem is not necessarily your confidence or your existence. The problem is that your presence touched a wound that was already there. And comparison is one of those wounds people hate admitting. Because it feels small, it feels embarrassing, it feels childish. So instead of naming it, they act it out. That's why some people suddenly start trying to top your stories, correct you, minimize you, act unimpressed. Not because they're naturally powerful, but because comparison got activated, and now their ego is trying to survive it. 2. Your presence awakens the gap between their mask and their real self. This is where the Jung part gets very strong. A lot of people live through what Jung called the persona, the social mask, the image, the version of themselves they know how to present. Maybe they present as confident, unbothered, kind, deep, in control, successful, emotionally mature, but inside, the reality is often more complicated. And when they meet someone whose energy feels more grounded, more honest, or simply less performative, something starts happening. Their mask gets heavier. Why? Because your presence makes the difference between who they are and who they pretend to be more visible to them. Not necessarily to everyone else, to them. That's why some people get strangely uncomfortable around authentic people. Not because authenticity is aggressive, because authenticity creates contrast, and contrast exposes effort. If somebody is always managing how they come across, always adjusting to the room, always wearing a certain version of themselves to stay accepted, then being around someone who feels more internally aligned can make that whole performance feel exhausting. And insecure people often respond to that exhaustion with defensiveness. They may become more sarcastic, more dismissive, more guarded, more eager to humble you. Because your presence isn't just sitting there quietly, it's awakening the uncomfortable awareness that they are working much harder to appear okay than they want to admit. That's why certain people don't just dislike confidence, they dislike coherence, because coherence makes their fragmentation feel louder. 3. Your presence awakens shame they haven't dealt with. This one is quieter, but very real. Not everybody who reacts strangely to you is comparing in a flashy way. Sometimes what your presence awakens is shame. Maybe shame about where they are in life, shame about what they tolerate, shame about their choices, shame about the fact that they know better but still don't act differently, shame about how much of themselves they've abandoned just to stay comfortable. And if you show up as someone who seems more self-trusting, more disciplined, more peaceful, more clear, or more emotionally honest, that shame can rise. Again, not because you attacked them, because your presence removes some of the excuses. Jung would likely say that shame lives close to the shadow. It lives in the parts of the self people don't want to bring into the light. So when someone feels ashamed around your presence, they may not consciously know that's what's happening. They just know they feel smaller, more exposed, more uneasy. And when people don't know how to process shame, they often protect themselves with irritation, distance, fake confidence, or subtle hostility. That's why some people don't seem openly aggressive around you. They just seem uncomfortable. Too uncomfortable. Their energy doesn't settle. Their smile doesn't fully land. Their support feels thin. Their tone has tension in it. That's often shame defending itself. And shame rarely says, "I need to heal." More often it says, "Something about this person is making me feel bad, so I need distance, criticism, or control." That's how innocent presence can activate defensive behavior in insecure people, without you ever understanding why, until you realize that what's really rising in them is unprocessed shame. 4. Your presence awakens the fear of losing their position. This happens a lot in old friendships, family systems, workplaces, and social circles. People get used to roles. Who's more confident? Who's more admired? Who's more dependent? Who's the strong one? Who's the confused one? Who gives advice? Who asks for help? Who leads? Who follows? And when your energy changes, those roles get disturbed. Maybe you used to be the one who doubted yourself more. Maybe you used to need more reassurance. Maybe you used to play smaller. Maybe you used to be more easy to manage. Then something shifted. Now you're calmer, more grounded, less eager for approval, less available for nonsense, more sure of yourself. And certain people feel their position slipping. That's a big deal psychologically, because some insecure people don't just want connection. They want a certain place in the emotional hierarchy. They want to be the wiser one, the stronger one, the more desired one, the one with more power, the one who can still influence you. So when your presence awakens the possibility that they are no longer in that position, they often get unsettled fast. Jung would probably say that ego identity often depends on relationship structures more than people realize. So if your growth or your changed energy disrupts the structure they were using to feel safe, you may awaken fear in them. Fear of losing relevance, fear of losing superiority, fear of losing access, fear of no longer knowing who they are in relation to you. And fear, when it's mixed with insecurity, usually doesn't look vulnerable. It looks defensive. That's why some people seem most uncomfortable around you right after you become stronger. Not because strength is offensive, because your strength changed the arrangement they were emotionally relying on. 5. Your presence awakens the parts of them that want to be real but are afraid to be. This one is deeper than simple envy. Sometimes your presence awakens longing. The longing to speak more honestly, live more honestly, set better boundaries, stop performing, stop shrinking, stop betraying themselves for approval, and that longing can be painful. Because if somebody has spent years choosing the safe version of life, then meeting a person who feels a little more real can stir up grief. Not just admiration, grief. Because now they feel the gap between the life they are living and the life they might actually want. Jung often wrote about the unlived life, the self that could have emerged, the parts of us we buried, the path we avoided because it was too frightening, too uncertain, too inconvenient. Your presence can awaken that in people. You may not even be doing anything dramatic. Maybe you just speak more directly. Maybe you're more comfortable saying no. Maybe your energy feels less fake. Maybe you're no longer organizing your whole personality around being digestible. That can stir up something very deep in insecure people, because part of them recognizes it, part of them wants it, but wanting something you're afraid to become is painful. So instead of turning that pain into courage, many people turn it into discomfort around you. This is why some of the people who feel most strange around you are not always the ones who dislike you most. Sometimes they are the ones whose buried self feels most activated by you, and because they don't know how to meet that activation consciously, it comes out sideways. In awkwardness, distance, defensiveness, subtle resentment. That's what unlived longing often looks like when it has no healthy language. 6. Your presence awakens their need to defend the story they tell themselves. This one is huge. Everybody has a story about themselves. I'm confident. I'm a good person. I'm the strong one. I'm self-aware. I'm not insecure. I'm more evolved than most people. I don't get jealous. I don't need validation. And those stories help people function. But when your presence starts quietly contradicting the story they tell themselves, they often become defensive. Let's say someone thinks they are very secure. Then they get around you and suddenly they feel competitive, tense, irritated, or not enough. That's a problem for their self-image. Now, they have two choices. They can confront the truth. Maybe I'm more insecure than I thought. Or they can defend the story. This person is arrogant. This person is too much. This person makes people uncomfortable. This person thinks they're better. Most insecure people choose the second option, because defending the story is easier than rebuilding the self-image. Jung would probably say, this is exactly how the ego protects itself. It resists anything that threatens its preferred identity. So if your presence awakens emotions in them that don't fit who they think they are, you become the easier problem. Not because you are the real problem, because you are the visible trigger. That's why some people get especially strange around you, even when your behavior is objectively normal. You are accidentally disturbing the story they use to feel solid inside themselves. And the more fragile that story is, the stronger the defensive reaction tends to be. 7. Your presence awakens their fear that they are easier to read than they want to be. This last one is subtle but powerful. Some insecure people can handle almost anything except the feeling that somebody sees through them. Not in a magical way, not in a dramatic mind-reading way, just in that simple, uncomfortable way where they sense this person notices things. They notice tone, they notice inconsistency, they notice energy, they notice what's not being said, they notice the slight fake smile, the subtle shift, the tension under the politeness. And if your energy is naturally observant, calm, or less distracted by surface performance, insecure people often feel that before you even speak much. That makes them defensive, because now they don't feel fully hidden. Jung would almost certainly connect this to shadow anxiety. The fear that the parts of ourselves we keep tucked away are not as invisible as we hoped. So they compensate. They get louder, funnier, more sarcastic, more polished, more guarded, more controlling. Not because you directly expose them, but because they feel more readable around you than they want to feel. And for insecure people, being readable feels dangerous, because their image depends on managing what others can see. That's why your mere presence can create tension. You may not be trying to analyze anybody, you may just be there in a way that is less easy to distract. And that alone can awaken defensiveness in people who survive through emotional camouflage. What does this really mean? Now, I want to say this clearly. The point of this conversation is not to make you feel superior. That's not the point at all. The point is to understand that sometimes people's reactions are not really about your behavior in the simple way you assume. Sometimes they're about what your presence awakens in them. And if you don't understand that, you'll start doing what a lot of sensitive people do. You'll shrink. You'll over-explain. You'll people-please. You'll soften your clarity. You'll dim your confidence. You'll apologize for your calm. You'll start managing yourself around other people's discomfort. That gets exhausting. Jung wouldn't want you to become arrogant because you have an effect on people. He'd want you to become conscious enough to tell the difference between real feedback and projected discomfort. Conscious enough to see when someone is reacting to their own inner world in your presence. Conscious enough not to abandon yourself every time someone gets weird around your energy. That's the healthier response. Not ego, not bitterness, not paranoia, just deeper clarity. And clarity saves a lot of energy. So what does your presence awaken in insecure people? Often, it awakens comparison, the gap between their mask and their real self, shame they haven't processed, fear of losing their position, longing for a truer life they haven't chosen, the need to defend the story they tell themselves, and the fear of being seen more clearly than they can control. That's the deeper truth. A lot of people are not reacting to your surface. They are reacting to what your presence brings to the surface in them. And once you understand that, you stop taking every strange reaction as proof that you need to become smaller. Sometimes your presence is not the problem. Sometimes your presence is simply making hidden things harder for certain people to hide. And before I leave you, I want to bring that question back one more time because I think this could turn into a very honest comment section. What's the first sign you notice when your presence is making an insecure person uncomfortable? Their defensiveness, their fake niceness, their need to compete, or the strange shift in their tone? That answer usually reveals a lot. Probably more than people expect. If this spoke to you, comment, "I understand the energy now."